Nah, it's gonna be...
This gives them really good Roche. This is just hit before Terrorblade comes online, yeah? Commit fully to that idea.
Snapfire off lane with Shadow Demon 4.
Dude, I want Shadow Demon so bad.
Brew is sick.
Brew is a core Shadow Demon in terms of purging.
He is.
All right, let's get ready.
That is a signature, yeah. Psychic Dispel, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And Overpower. Ooh, it's good.
Yikes.
Good.
Beastmaster summons.
See ya.
3、2、1，最后一把，然后就
给
也不要
你机会，你不
怕输。
中用了。
It paused.
Let's get ready.
Oh, 6. Wow.
And welcome back again. We're here taking a look at game number 2. You wonderful people out there, what are you giggling at?
We didn't have the hand of God, the voice of God, so we just had the nice stare of us. It's good.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
We do have a freaking awesome game, though. We've
We
got
do.
the Ursa as the last pick. I was not expecting that one. I was thinking some crazy, like, Tinker or magic
Zeus.
damage hero.
Yeah.
And they're just like, no, we're going to go and run at Roches and take down buildings. They're going to make it work. What do you guys think of the draft?
I like Liquid's way more faster paced. I think they're actually able to group up and fight. They have Beastmaster for the vision now. They have the Ursa to force Roche and take objectives. They didn't get Aegis last game, I think.
No, they did
So
not.
now they actually have the opportunity to kind of group up and ball.
Yeah, they certainly wanted it very
Yeah.
clearly. Aegis would have been great for them in these circumstances. So part of the issue was they were required to go for these initiations to start these fights, and they had a hard time doing it because they were certainly at a vision disadvantage, and you're hoping to sort of get rid of that problem here with that Beastmaster.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference with the Beast to the Mars is that even if the Beast doesn't buy a blink, it just the Hawks gives you vision. So now maybe the Marcy gets a catch, maybe the Crystal Maiden gets a slow. It's sometimes a vision is a stun enough.
Stun enough. I like that. Good way to describe it there. And on the other side, for Aster, you've got a very different, in some ways, looking draft, and some things that are similar. So still running with that Lesh, and then a support that mitigates the physical damage. Last time it was that Sven with the Shard. This time, it's going to be that Frost Shield. And then the other big last pick that I think is really interesting hero nowadays, and what we've been seeing from it, is this Brewmaster with the Aghanim Scepter build. Really cool stuff.
We've been seeing it pop up. There's kind of two different styles of the hero I've seen. One is that they just rush Wraith Pact, and they pretty much just play a drop Wraith Pact, drop splits, just no one takes damage in the fights, you just exist and you can't fight them.
Thanks.
And the other is where they rush that Ags, and they play more of a... It just gives them a lot of plays. Either you can have the Fire Panda to farm, you have the Earth Spirit Panda to kind of just give you vision, give you a stun, or you have the Wind Panda, which catches, it dispels. Very nice for a lot of the Liquid heroes. Kills all the summons from Beastmaster, purges the Ursa, can lift the Ursa. The Storm Panda itself was actually probably the best thing about Brewmaster in this game.
Yeah, and that's very interesting too, because that's been a long talking point in terms of the Wind Panda and like this idea of like, oh, you can get rid of the summons and the dispels, but of course you were always limited to it being during the ultimate, and then in that downtime you didn't have those options. But now with the addition of the Aghanim Scepter build, it's actually something that can be far more reliable on the hero, and at this point it's actually brought him into being one of the more reliable heroes with a dispel.
Yeah, which again, the Ags is where you can choose one Panda to always have, even if you're not in the ult. So you can just kind of run around the whole game with the Panda, and it's leashed to you similar to a Lundred Bear, where if it goes too far, it gets silenced. But
look at that wall of text there. It is a very complicated hero. We're going to be real about it.
Okay, here's my big advice to Dota players. If you think a hero's too complicated to play it, just play it.
Yeah.
Okay, you'll get better. Everyone has to start somewhere. So don't be scared of the complicated heroes, because they're really fun.
I think I just teared up a little bit when you said that, Trent. What a brilliant thought to end the day off.
Just don't be on my team.
Okay, all right, got it. No, you had to ruin it, didn't you? As we take a look at this mid lane, a couple denies there coming out from Mickey. Similar story to what we saw before. And then the big mix-up again is that Terrorblade that got taken by Aster at that 4th pick for them. And I'm kind of a little bit concerned if this game goes later, what tools they have to deal with this. Is this a game where Terrorblade can just carry if it goes late enough?
It can. He's the type of hero, especially for Shadow Fiend. He can steal the aura, which is actually very, under talked about, where you just steal this minus armor aura from Shadow Fiend, and that's one of the big things. He does so much damage because of that, and now you have it. And he does do the same thing where he outranges these Shadow Fiend type of heroes, and he can kite the Ursa, but Team Liquid just does a lot of heroes that will latch on him and can just kill him either through Sunder or even after the Sunder happens. Yeah. Like the Ursa, the Beast, he gets roared, he gets attacked by the Ursa. Ursa presses BKB, and he's just kind of sitting there without much save.
It's not a safe-looking Sunder this game. If it gets off, I feel like there's still a lot of concern that could be there for you.
Reviled.
Still have the stacks of Fury swipes even after that Sunder, so.
The biggest reason, one of the big reasons they pick it in this game is Beastmaster is one of these Zoo heroes. He has summons, he pushes lanes, he gives a lot of vision. And when you're constantly pushing lanes, the creeps just themselves give you so much vision if people are farming them, if they're not. And so now that the fact that he, by himself, is able to summon illusions and kind of counteract that and even push into the Beastmaster without being there, it kind of evens up the vision game for Aster.
Yeah, it makes it so that you're not caught off guard as much by the Beastmaster, because they want to take you off even footing by just trying to upset your lane, so someone has to rotate and go deal with that. And so if you can do it with the illusions, you're gonna be a lot happier. And it's another case of potentially even getting an aura taken from a Beastmaster.
The biggest question is pretty much gonna be the tempo and speed of Liquid. They have Beast and Ursa and Shadow Fiend. They're all heroes that hit these very early 10-minute, 15-minute timings where once they get that, they're able to fight for the rest of the game. Just keep fighting, keep fighting, keep fighting, keep fighting. And Aster, again, this Leshrac, they always want to go Bloodstone. They always want to hit this nice mid-game timing where they're just constantly getting stronger and stronger. And whether or not he gets the Bloodstone in time is going to be the big question.
We'll have to watch for that. How his laning stage plays out right now, a little bit behind the SF. 17-5 versus 12-2. Nothing to super write home about as they're doing some more of the lane pull shenanigans up top there. And the other big thing to watch for is, are we going to get some stacks? Because both of these heroes deal with it really well. As XXS just getting beat down by Boxy. Marcy's still an incredibly strong hero, and you can see he doesn't even feel like he can connect that fully through. So a bit of a tough one. Will get the Cinder Brew ignited and follow up with the cookie, but see XXS just wants to keep farming, while Boxy is going to head off to the other side and maybe make that rotation towards mid.
Yeah, we see this nice move by Boxy. He does this a lot where he kind of pressures behind the tier 1 tower, either trying to aggress on the pulls or just bully the offlaner. And because of that, he ends up in the tri-camp. And now he's just behind the mid tower. And
chased a couple punches, and Ichu able to pick up that first blood. So while everything's happened top, down bottom, take care of business.
And you can see even Boxy, he just secures the water runes now. So that Mickey's they're gonna try to fight in the bot battle water runes.
Ooh, good stuff. Steals it away. But they pull him back. Ori, he's in some trouble. A couple more hits is all they need. Looking for the long range one. Can they bring it down? It is there. Mickey hits on 3. And Boxy maybe even gonna look for more from Bobica. See how it goes. But that's gonna be at least one of the water runes picked up for the SF.
Some flashbacks of the last game.
True.
Mickey had a really nice game. He was 4-0 in the early game. He also killed the Lesh with this Boxy rotation.
Boxy was all over the map again as well, securing kills everywhere.
This is the Marcy factor. Yeah. Anytime, every game, especially with Marcy SF, that's why we keep seeing this combo so much. Even past the sidekick mid-game or the Shadow Fiend timing, it's just the mid lane.
I think it's funny too, because they also had these same wards, through the river last game as well, spotting these rotations from Boxy, but Marcy's just so mobile that sometimes it doesn't even matter.
It's so fast. Even you can just TP and always be there.
They've actually watched Boxy walk his entire way up here, and he still might die. This will not be good. Oh my god.
Kill as they bring him down.
They watched him walk there.
That's what needed to happen. It's a really strong combination, and playing together with that Ursa is pretty devastating. Now, this has come a little bit at the cost of Zai not having a perfectly great lane, but likewise, the other two aren't doing too well either. So, Terrorblade, good start. The rest of the heroes kind of suffering.
Yeah, Zai got 16-17 is one of the harder. He gets instantly counterpicked by the Terrorblade. He doesn't really get to ban. You're just kind of thrown there. He's like, have a great game, Zai. Just go, try to go even in your lane.
See
that's
you
good
at 15
enough.
minutes.
Yeah, that's good enough. Just maybe press a Hawk, give us some vision at some point. So all in all, his goal is mostly just get the Helm of the Dominator, and at some point, probably kick the Terrorblade out of the lane with the rotation.
We'll watch for that one for sure.
And Matu took a lot of damage up there trying to go toe-to-toe with XXS.
And they canceled the Tiki too. So I'm not sure if anybody scouted that one or saw that, but Tumbaman going to be a little bit under pressure here if he's not careful.
Yeah, Boxy was worried that he was getting dove, so he might have to show up, and instead he just wants to lurk around mid because the 6-minute runes were coming up, but the positioning for Liquid just it was favorable for them. He does get the jump in there, though, at the toss back.
Raze connects. Another one is there. Mickey, when he comes out, this is going to be easy peasy. Walking right up close and personal. Mickey finds the kill, and yeah, Boxy's been the story. He's been doing everything.
This is also his first year playing 4, right? He just switches roles and he's crushing every game against Marcy. He just body blocks people. He always gets the rotations. Last game he had 3 kills within 5 minutes. Similar story here, 3 kills in 6 minutes. Yeah, just constantly moving around the map.
4 is for the offlaners that they don't have the ego. You know, they don't need the farm. They don't have to hit the creeps. They actually just want to kill people.
Chase for another. Have the fullback dispose. Couple more leaps. Jumping around all over the place with this matchup. And XXS doing a good job of keeping his Snapfire alive. This combination of laners have been together for so many years and have each other's backs.
A lot of body blocks so far.
True.
Yeah, just constantly, everyone's just... you just see it, the evolution of Dota. People just get so much better at these little small moves.
They went in again. I think they thought Boxy was gone.
Chase, looking for the kill. Get one. That's going to be a hit. But Boxy did go down for that one. Man. Yeah, they just keep running at each other.
Full health, full mana. He's probably going to TP mid for the bottle.
Mickey, come on, spam it out. I'm coming.
For another go onto Ori too if the opportunity presents itself. And yeah, immediately refill bottle there. And XXS a little bit zoned out there by Matumba Man.
Likewise, though, of course, before we go going down, we'll do the same thing for Ori. Get the juices flowing and the arcane runes complete there. They're going to find Insania. That's a juicy Crystal Main, and well, she's got wind lace, but you know, she has no boots to lace. So she's still really slow.
That's true.
It's a 3v2. The 50-50, who wins?
Oh, Mickey gets it. Regen too. That would have been huge for Ori. And we'll head right on in and start stealing some of these camps away.
They play around the Shadow Fiend really nicely. They're always constantly bringing supports mid, securing his runes, but...
they were around the Shadow Fiend, though.
Mickey in some trouble. Do have the rebound, but I don't think they're going to be able to keep him alive. So they do make a solid move by Aster. Take down Mickey. 9-5. Everything just happening around mid. That was a split too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was a split. So, I mean, worth, obviously. Early split to kill a mid player, you'll take.
Zai is now level 6. He's holding his point. They don't really want to go to him before the Helmet of the Dominator. So Monet's just going to kind of be very confident in his lane, farming up very nicely. He's top of the net worth and the last hits. So it's going to be pretty much up to Monet. It's his choice of, oh, do I want to go jungle? Do I want to go top? We could even see him maybe in the next minute or two with the next split, TPing to the off lane, trying to pressure the Ursa out of the lane, because again, Ursa does not jungle as well as a Terrorblade. So breaking down these safe lanes is kind of going to be the next big goal of these teams.
They are bringing a couple other heroes up to the top side now. CM making the rotation as Boxy is already over there. Don't know if that's going to turn into anything.
I feel like Boxy's just trying to force a TP. Like, yeah, he's just been under a ward for a long time. They do come out and skate it out. Nice job from Insania. Gets the D ward there with the help of a courier. Don't have to waste his Crystal Nova mana. You need every little drop of mana you can get on a CM.
It feels like everyone's trying to force rotations without making them. Both of the supports sitting next to their carries in the safe lanes and they're poking, trying to make them be like, oh, we have to TP. And then that's when they flip the map.
Yeah.
But right now, everyone's just being very careful, being calculated. No one's doing anything too crazy. No one's diving towers.
I swear, this is the longest I've seen a TP in lane in quite a while. I feel like every time I'm watching TV, he's getting set. I mean, he usually was like more of a draft priority, I guess, right? He was being banned more often, so now that he's picked a bit later, actually getting a chance to farm the creep waves is pretty crazy.
Time Zai is just farming up that stack right there. A nice little injection of gold for himself as he's going to try and claim the rest of these. 3 points up in the axes. And the CM Aura certainly helping along the way as there's also a good ancient stack there. So this is going to be the Helm of the Dominator coming out for Zai, while we are still waiting for that push out of that safe lane. And you can see that Monet has made a bit of a rotation into the jungle now.
So this game, Liquid is actually going to play for a slower timing. If anything, it looks like Batu is going to go for a Battle Fury on the Ursa. They're playing to not feel pressured. The one really nice thing about it is now Brew cannot end his split early. The Ags doesn't give you the ability to end the split, so it's always the full duration. So once he gets BKB Battle Fury, he can just clear through the Primal split, and there's nothing he can do about it.
Big smoke down bottom, and Aster won't manage to find anybody except for maybe Insania here, who's hanging out mid. They run into him. Cookie won't quite connect. Does have the splitter, but it's not there either. So Aster missed on everything. Zai, in the meantime, you see he's going to finish off that ancient stack. He'll use the glyph here to take down the tower.
They are glyphing as well for the Radiant, though, of course, because mid lane, they got the Catapult, they got Shadow Fiend, and Boxy's hiding behind the trees, but it's a Brewmaster, and he goes instantly for the split.
And Boxy gets a little bit of a separation, haste away from SF. They're clear and clean and out.
He was trying to hope to dispel the haste, I think, but Mickey got away, and Boxy kind of made the space for him to be able to run.
Yeah, there was even a sentry down, too, in case he tried to go for like a Storm Panda play or something. It's the worst to like not get a kill with a Bruce split this early. I feel like you defended the tower, right? It was a 1-hero rotation to ensure that it stayed up.
I think it also feels good just because they were able to make a move to their safe lane and take the tower. So again, now Monet's kind of, once you take this offlane tower, your carry's able to freely leave the lane. It's a lot easier to push the lane out so that you have way more time before your tower gets hit. So now he can just TP, he can farm the Ancients.
Snapfire ulti down onto Mickey, trying to catch him. Slowed down for the moment. Boxy under fire will get brought down, and Mickey dropped the Requiem. A quick connection for the kill. As again, supports die, but a bunch of big ultis used on Aster.
Okay, it actually feels crazy to me that an Ursa takes the 1.75 mana regen with a Battle Fury and a Crystal Maiden on his team.
Yeah.
It's really the reset time's that bad? Is that how bad that talent is?
It depends on a lot of the matchups in the game mostly. It's more if you can't really latch onto a hero. I've seen it a lot versus like a Medusa, because when she pops her Stone Gaze, you have to reset.
Right.
You have the ability to take these really long fights. But I think Liquid's kind of hoping to just be able to roar someone, he gets on them, and that's all that matters. He just will kill them in a roar.
He just wants to spam. He just wants to farm it up on this Ursa. So Matsu, just all the mana in the world for this bear.
And you can see that Zai also going for a little bit of an unorthodox build from what we've seen before on these Beastmasters, going 4-4-0. So not really opting to get that physical damage boost up. They still will get some good pressure onto that bottom tier 1 tower here now.
Yeah, a lot of the time where Beastmasters, when they were getting early picked, the idea was that you'd pick an illusion hero because that would be able to kill the boars in the lane and it would kind of, counter them. So the change was that Beastmasters started maxing axes because the illusion heroes have high armor but low health pools. So it's pretty much just a change to deal with the Terrorblade in the lane. That's why he was actually able to last it, and that's why his game is actually not terrible. If anything, it's actually better than the Brewmasters.
Yeah.
So it was a nice adjustment to the lane in the game.
So Aster, as they move up towards the north, Boxy runs in above a cut.
The instant turn.
Everybody's afraid.
Dire's top tower
That tells us the tale of this game, huh?
Yeah.
We're just relaxing here. Vision-wise, it's Liquid have a slight edge in terms of those deep wards. It's kind of been the constant throughout this whole match, but Aster feeling comfortable enough still to make this move to the top tower. Even with the lack of vision, they can always just send out some illusions if they've got some questions.
Top tower has fallen. Radiant's middle tower
Down
is
bottom,
under attack.
Success queuing up, trying to finish off that Wraith pack again.
I think, again, this game, Liquid is going to be the team that's playing for controlling areas of the map. Shadow Fiend doesn't have a jump, Beastmaster doesn't go blink for a while, Ursa has a Battle Fury. They want to hold either their jungle with their Ancients, or they want to hold, probably the Radiant big jungle in the bot lane. And on the side of Aster, they just hit their timings and they want to just keep going. Every time they have split, once they have this Bloodstone, once Monet, every time he has meta, he's able to walk into Roach, he's able to walk at towers. So we're going to see Aster's going to try to do a lot more of the aggressive plays, and Liquid's going to try to keep getting their timings, keep farming up, play a slightly slower game, but they always want to be ready to fight.
I feel like these fights are going to get pretty wild once they start happening, though. Like look how this Lich wants to play this fight, right?
Yeah.
This Chain Frost is bouncing around, as well as the Frost Shield, doing so much work in this game.
The Lich is a similar replacement to the Sven from last game, where it just kind of enabled his team to walk in and just never die to the physical damage, specifically from the SF. And now there's SF and Ursa. So there's so much physical damage that this Ori's able, with this Bloodstone, I think he can probably just walk into 4 or 5 heroes and probably survive.
And like they need to clump, right? Like the Ursa, the Marcy, and the Beastmaster, they tend to really get in there. And so
even all the summons,
that Chain Frost goes in there. Like hopefully the summons are gonna have to tank some of this up, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that's going to be the thing that they hope to have happen. The other thing to watch for, again, is that whereas Sven in last game, you had that AoE extra survivability. For this, it's just that Frost Shield and the single target. So maybe can change up their target prioritization a little bit depending on how it goes.
Ooh,
Okay, they get out the ulti. Can they get away on Matumba Man with everybody rotating in? This was a nice move by by Aster, and they'll take down the bear. Huge kill.
This is where Liquid would typically run it out. They're hesitating, right? They're thinking about it. They start going, they stop, go, stop.
Can they find one to return though? Sania right on top. The stun, it doesn't connect, but the Requiem very nicely played with the dispose. Double ulti for the kill, and now more chasing going on as they do have a stomp available. XXS kind of in a weird spot now. Connects with the stun. The rest of the team trying to catch up and get into position. They're a little ways away, but they got him. The pullback. Have dispose for round 2, pull him in, and Sania's there. Cookie for round 3. Can they kill her off? Yes, they will.
At the same time, Mickey takes that mid tower with the help of a catapult there.
Dire's top
So
tower
Liquid getting
is
a
under
lot
attack.
done in those moments after losing their Ursa, taking advantage of the fact that Bruce Split was down.
Another interesting adjustment I see is that Mickey actually went for a Falcon Blade this game. I think usually the Shadow Fiends, I think even last game he went for the Dragon Lance before the BKB. So I think that's also kind of an indicator of how they want to play. Generally you go Dragon Lance because of the value adds when you push towers.
Bitten off a little bit more than they could chew there on Ori. No SF means not an easy chance for a kill, and of course, as we saw, the Frost Shield makes it tough.
But now Roach is starting to be forced.
There's no secrets here. They're seeing everything with the wards they have down on Aster, so they're going to move their way right to the pit.
Starting to build up. Stacks so far to hit him with both. Chain Frost round 3. Can they get him? Yes, they will. Ori goes down. Now looking for more. XXS backing away. Does have to run.
Look at Boxy go.
X, dude, still chasing. He's so low. Such low HP on Boxy. Trying to get away. Might just be able to do the rebound. How is this hero fair? Oh my god. That was so sick.
Zai was trying to send in the Centaur as well to help.
That space created because this Roach is going down. They're so close to finishing off. XXS wants to run in, but now they're committed. Monet chases forward. Good setup. Can they do him enough for the kill? McKay in trouble. That's one kill. One time dead. XXS brought down low with Sania. Doing a bunch with that ultimate. They pull back in that Shadow Fiend. McKay, Requiem to buy a little bit of space to chase down. They keep on wanting to fight, but Tumbleground's alive. Chase dead. Monet, he doesn't have any more Metamorphosis left. I don't think they can chase anymore, but Liquid, they win the Roche, they win the fight.
Oh, Boxy. This guy, I don't even know how he does it. No HP that entire fight, keeps coming back in for the rebounds, abusing those low cooldowns. And Liquid, I'm sure, getting a little bit worried there as that was starting to end, but taking down XSS and really, again, punishing the lack of ultimate on the Brewmaster.
It looked a little scary. Mickey's BKB was cooldown, so when he dies the first time, there's a chance they burst him, but no stuns I think were available. And also something...
This was so long ago now, it feels like, when this all began.
So much damage from the double damage rune. They actually just chew through the Frost Shield.
I think also, you know, that's a moment where as a Lesh you might feel like you're safe, but as soon as that first raise hits, the second one comes in and you're slowed. Look at this.
HP, wands with 2 charges, gets back out.
Man.
Radiant's courier has been
Then he
killed.
returns twice more as well from Boxy, just absolutely ridiculous.
Well, and that's so important because the Marcy just being able to give that sidekick over to these cores is so much of what makes this hero insane in the later stages.
And it's what helped finish the Roche off, right? And then this is where things look scary. Sania gets to have a full ulti. Thing just keeps on going, helping to bring down XSS despite having the Frost Shield on top. And then manages to walk out as well, low HP.
I think one of the cool things, which is it's actually what started this fight, and it's why Boxy lived, is that he has a casual cloak. There's actually 3 of them in this game. Both Ori and Lich, I think, yeah, have the cloaks right now. So you can see a lot of the teams have started to do, they pick a lot of these early game damage heroes. Even Shadow Fiend does so much magic damage in the early game. And just these casual cloaks can turn these fights. He has 50 HP. That's purely because of the cloak he buys. And it turns the whole fight around. Boxy being able to live there.
Yeah, well, he's feeling very magical right now as Mickey eyeing up the Arcane Blink as well to come up after this. Has the Fairies Trinket, so the full mage build is in effect.
Certainly, we would love to see a game number 3, as we always do in these pivotal matchups here for the upper bracket. See if it ends up happening or not, but a BKB completed on the Ursa. And the next couple of minutes, I want to see where this item progression goes for the Terrorblade. What he ends up looking towards next. That Scotty, obviously, really important for you know, stopping any of that extra regen you get from the sidekick, like steal all the rest of it.
Yeah, the Scotty really puts the pressure on your initiation as Liquid, because if the fight's not good, you don't get a great burst on an important target. That's where a Terrorblade can really start turning around this fight with that Scotty. You just get kited out, you can't finish things off the way you want to.
I think it's probably going to be a BKB after the Scotty, just to never get feared by the Shadow Fiend. If you get BKB off before you get roared and the Lich armors you, you also probably won't die. You always get your Sunder off, but now we see a smoke from Liquid.
That
Radiant's bottom tower is
scan
under
connected,
attack.
so they knew this was coming, and instead they're trying to counteract it. They are going to make the call to head down for this bottom lane. They run right into Mickey. He will back out of there. Zai also still standing steady, but everybody just back behind the tower. Now, Terrorblade is not here. Can TP into the fight? Might be a little bit scary. And Sadia just on the left track leave. Chase, big ulti, but he doesn't get it off in time to stop the split. It might still be enough. Matamba Man trying to beat through those Brewlings, but they didn't get the Earth Panda. Now, Snapfire Ultimate still has Enrage. They get all the big ultis out. But the
doesn't feel the worst for Aster. They used 3 ults, but they at least got the fight to be forced. They used Liquid to press their BKBs. They defended their tower, so they might even look to smoke up and try to catch the Shadow Fiend off, off guard.
Feels scary though, without Bruce Split. It's not easy to have a good fight.
I guess the danger of having the the Leshrac and all the power that he can bring to the fight, if they can get on top of that SF, could be pretty huge.
They're just going to play the game to get this Leshrac BKB.
Radiant's top
He's going to get it in 300 gold, but yeah, this Arcane Blink on Shadow Fiend is pretty interesting. I think the idea of it is either A, to try to burst the Brewmaster before he gets ult off, or B, burst the Terrorblade before he gets spells off. It's pretty much just a bursting tool to kill one hero. It's similar to the Yule's Butcher Travel Blink 1000 HP Shadow Fiends that were running around back in the day.
Those are still in all my games. What do you mean? Is that not cool anymore?
It's not as cool these days.
Well, apparently it's pretty cool.
He's going to no Yules. No Yules, no Boots of Travel.
Okay, fair enough.
It's a little mixture of a build. So this one, it actually scales relatively similar to how the physical does in terms of strength, but in a very different way. So
Foxy setting us up. Expose, big jump, big burst. Does have a Wraith Pack down.
for so many misses.
That's just
immediately just going to run away. But bottom lane, they're getting some good pressure onto that tier 2 tower. We'll throw out the Frost Shield to keep it alive a little bit more again. The
Man, they get punished for the lack of ability to chase as well. Without the Bruce Split there, like they couldn't do anything. They just walked away. Like Marcy and Ursa, they're all just kind of like hobbling up there with Terrorblade and Leshrac, and they just gotta watch them go.
Yeah, I actually think Ori might buy just a blink this game, just so he can blink BKB and try to force a fight to happen around his hero. Because Brewmaster doesn't really want to buy a blink. You don't want to blink in and then try to ult in front of the entire enemy team. Terrorblade as well just wants to exist somewhere in the back of the fight. And the supports are just ranged heroes. They don't want to go in.
Yeah, XSS's blink is just going to be him getting an Aeon Disc and hoping that lets him get his ulti off by just being in the middle of things.
More blinks in tow. Ursa is going to finish his off. Coming out of the courier now. Still hanging on to these mid towers too.
Zai has purchased an Aether Lens instead of a blink, which is pretty cool. It means that he doesn't have to enter the fight. It's a little different because now it seems like they're not trying to play off the roar. If you don't have a blink, it's hard to just say, I'm roaring this guy, go, go, go.
Okay, right away. Frost Shield, keeping Ori alive, all that damage mitigation. The stun comes forward, but they got him. The burst was there. Matamba Man was not prepared.
That shard cookie hop looks so goofy. Like a big old arc up in the air.
Sinister Gaze. This spell is so, it just like, the cast point of it is so fast, it always catches people off guard. I think even to this day, people are still surprised when they get Sinister Gaze by a Lich.
Yeah, I would agree. Usually they're like hanging back or they just die right away. You don't really expect him to be a Shadow Shaman.
This Arcane Blink is now going to be completed, and with Roche capable of respawning another minute, we'll have to see what the avenue is that they want to go. But Shadow Fiend queuing up the Aghanim Scepter afterwards, so max burst potential. An interesting option, and definitely going to need that Terrorblade to get into the BKB now and have reactions.
The level 20 timing is also very good when he goes Magic and Ags, because it increases the amount of time you can be feared. I think by like 1.2 seconds or something, max duration. And the fear goes back in. So once you Arcane Blink with an Ags, it's about 4.5 seconds
Ori,
of fear.
they got him. He's dead. Completely destroyed. It happens in an instant. As soon as that stun hit, we knew.
It's funny because like Cookie's a save, but like even if the Cookie's there, I don't even think it's gonna impact in time,
The travel time of the Cookie's too slow. Yeah. It's 0.8 seconds of cast point for the Shadow Fiend ult right now.
just like that, you can see the value of this Arcane Blink. I don't think I've seen an item to get picked up and then used immediately that effectively before in a while.
Well, unfortunately for Liquid, it's not the dream scenario where it's an instant roast or something for them. It's going to be a bit of time, but halfway, minute and a half timer.
Radiant's top tower is under
Queuing up
attack.
already some of the answers to this Arcane Blink. We saw the Aeon Disc coming out now for the Brew. That's going to need to be the answer.
Radiant's middle tower is under
But
attack.
he's finishing up his BKB. He's just been kind of silent past couple minutes. I think he's just farming. He's pushing out lanes, dealing with the Beastmaster. And there hasn't been really much. Again, Aster doesn't have the greatest jump, or he has queued up that blink. He is going to try to be the guy who goes in there and starts the fights for his team. But they're just kind of hoping Liquid walks into them, and they're able to take the fights like that.
Yeah, I mean, it worked last game, right? You know, that's true.
Even on the bot rune. Matu walks up on the high ground, they get 2 kills, and they just walk away and get more farm.
I mean, I think the big benefit and the change
Dire's
that we're seeing
bottom
this time is, of
tower
course,
under attack.
all day. That's great. I'm glad we were on a similar page there. I think the big difference this time is, of course, going to be that Beastmaster having those Hawks get sent forward, so they get a little bit better vision before the fights start off.
Yeah, the vision from Liquid is really nice this game compared to the last. On the last game, they just kept blind walking the ward. They blind walk into the Pango. He always gets roll up. Aster, the Brewmaster doesn't have the same instantaneous impact of a roll.
Yeah.
Where it's just constantly stunning. He's a BKB tier you can't kill. Even in this bot fight around the tier 2, the Shadow Thief ults and almost kills the 2 pandas instantly. Even though he doesn't catch the Brew, he almost kills the ult. If the Earth Panda is the only one alive, it doesn't do anything besides stand there.
Especially versus an Ursa. You know, if he spots that panda, the thing's just gone.
Oh, for sure. Well, still playing around their vision right now. Aster, they bring out another Blink Dagger. This time, I believe this is Ori. So, mass amounts of blinks, looking for the outplays. And as you mentioned, the casual cloaks here and there. Turn those into bigger items eventually. Smoke up as they're going to head up north. Roche has respawned. Have to see if there is going to be that big pivotal fight or not around this war.
We'll see if the evasion can save XSS here. He's got the talent for the +1x brood up for the evasion.
Sense of danger, moves right in, finds everybody, 4-stab, gets some separation, will get hit with the stun. And that will be the death of the CM, but do they still want to fight? Expose, pulls back XXS, looking for a chase, they buy back on the CM. TPing in for this fight, Mickey looking for the blink, they still keep them backing away, and XXS in trouble. Aeon Disc summon, thinks about popping the ulti, but doesn't drop it yet. Snapfire ulti, 4-stab, separating this, Psy in trouble, roar, immediately Mickey gets it, the stun on everybody, but it's not going to be enough damage. Only survive through it, they need to run away now, but Tumba Man TP's out, will manage to secure that one, but so much used by Liquid, and they still ended up losing that fight immediately into the pit from Aster.
There wasn't enough damage on Monet. He has the Titan Sliver, so it takes a little less magic, a little less stun from the fear.
They don't want to give this up.
Nah, this isn't how they want to go out right now. There's great vision here from Aster, though. Obs and Sentry nearby, going to spot those Hawks, see what's going on. They take it down immediately. Still in the pit, looking for their setup here. No Requiem. They need a big play.
Jump forward, Boxy right on top. It's not quick enough, though. They went too early. Now the axe is getting thrown. Mickey in trouble. Right on top of him. Blows up the Shadow Phoenix, but Tumba Man does not have an option. This force shield is impossible to fight in to for that Ursa and Boxy. Chain cross bouncing back and forth, takes him down. Liquid committed everything for this, and they're going to get nothing.
Oh, Boxy. A little bit of help there from the neutral creeps, carrying on that chain frost right from Insania to Boxy and the trolls nearby. Into the pit they go, and Aster, after on the back foot for so much of this game, waiting for that perfect moment, they find it. What a great way to bait that entire fight starting at the outpost.
Капец, вы crazy, парни. Ну ладно.
Unreal, and a little bit of that early commitment there ends up getting punished.
That blink, I mean, you can see the big difference it's making for Ori, right? He's able to get into the most important part of that fight right now and force all that attention next to Mickey. Leaves Monet sort of by himself, he can clean up some of these summons that are nearby. And once they take care of Mickey, even with the buyback, he can't get back in time.
Dire structures are
And the
fortified.
biggest question now, I think, is the Ags is really important. Mickey needs this Ags.
attack.
It does 2 things. It makes the fear come back in after it goes out, and it also reduces the cooldown, which means that you can use it every single fight. You don't have to worry about it. And the biggest thing as well is that they use the Shadow Phoenix and they don't get a kill.
Yes.
Yeah.
When his whole build is centered around using the ult and you use a stun and you don't get the kill, you kind of feel bad. This re-engage fight at the Roche pit, he doesn't have BKB, he doesn't have ult. or he just blinks on him and he has no plays. He doesn't have the physical damage to deal with him. He doesn't have a pike. He doesn't have a way to kind of disengage from the fight, so he's just stuck there.
1,500 more gold for Mickey, and we'll see if that's going to be enough to get him where he needs to be. Does hit that level 20 now, but still not an easy position to be in. Monet runs into the SF, no way to break that TP, obviously. And man, yeah, this Lich, you choose so many of these times, has been the difference maker, it feels like. You talked about that Frost Shield on the Leshrac. There really hasn't been an answer for it.
It's just really nice versus all the Dire heroes, and the adjustment they made with the Arcane Blink is really nice versus it. It gives them the magic damage to kill, but it hasn't really been enough, and it's actually just been enough to deal with this Ursa.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of just like last game where they sort of had a good idea in terms of like how to make it so they're not under so much pressure, but by going for this magic build in order to solve that problem, it actually recreates that pressure issue through the ultimate, since it's so dependent on that to work. I guess it just comes back to vision again, right? It's like make sure you can get that perfect setup, and it goes right now. Speaking of vision, it does
no Lich there, and he is dead.
Yeah.
Wow. Brilliant play. Immediately get in there and find him.
Or he got away with that the entire time last game, right? He had so many split push moments exactly like that where he did tower completely by himself, and now they have that big burst damage.
Dire's bottom tower is
This
under
game
attack.
still on a knife's edge. They have the Aegis on
Dire's
that
bottom
Terrorblade, but we've seen the power
Radiant's
that you
top
can
tower
have with
has fallen.
both split push in this game, as well as just one big burst if everybody is not in position.
Radiant's middle
So
tower is
Aster,
under
get
attack.
punished. A DD rune spawning bottom.
This is
Radiant's
the same
middle
timing
tower
Aster
has
had
been
last game.
denied.
Monet just picks up a butterfly with an Aegis. He's probably going to look to wait for Ori to get alive and then try to maybe even push the mid. Max, I don't really see a way for them to kill him twice. I think to kill him once, they have to use the Shadow Fiend ult, and that means that when he respawns, he's kind of free, especially if he hasn't used his BKB.
Yeah. Feels like it's one of those situations where maybe you can try and get everyone around him.
Boxy needs to get in towards some help. Cookie forward, but the jump away, and mentioned Magnums completed. And Disc still sitting there on XXS. You can see that it's still a very even game here, and Brewmaster is going into that Agnum Scepter himself next. They will kill off all the
that
creeps.
blink being there.
Yeah, at the same time, Aster
Dire's
doesn't
middle
feel the
tower
need
is
to
under
force
attack.
plays if they don't feel comfortable taking this tower, taking this tier 3. Because, again, they still have the Terrorblade, they have so much of the map under their control, they're still kind of getting a gold advantage. So
Dire's
their
middle
lineup scales.
tower has
They're not on a
fallen.
timing. I don't think either of these teams are actually on a timing. Both of them are playing for different items, different levels, that the 25s are really strong, so it's kind of up to whoever is feeling their strongest at the current moment who's going to want to take the fights.
Both supports behind as well as XXS, but Monet in very far. Gonna get stunned. Matumba Man goes forward. They don't want to drop the Requiem for nothing. Rooted, Manta. Man trying to deal with these illusions. Monet's down to half HP. And the chance. Burst. The Sunder. It came out perfect. There's gonna be the fear. Matumba Man turns the side game and keeping them alive, but the Audience doing too much. Slowly burning them down one by one. They need to jump in with Mickey in a second, but I don't know if they have the damage. Mickey thought about it, gets the blink canceled, has to run away. They buy back on Matumba Man. They're coming in for the racks as Aster want to siege this down and take a substantial lead in this game. 8K gold lead already. Monet builds it up. Manta touch to get away. They don't have enough. Sunder 7 seconds on cooldown. If they're not careful, he's just going to be able to get another round of it. And in fact, he's just going to walk away. Aster, come in, get what they came for, secure that first set of racks.
Actually just like teasing with the Aegis the entire time there, right? Trying to commit you to this bad fight so you can jump on Monet, get you convinced that, okay, we can get the kill without using the Requiem, right? That's what we need in this case. But Aster, the entire time through the series, like the way that they read the fights, it feels perfect. They correctly analyze the threat levels that are coming from each of these heroes and the positioning by Ori. Like I feel like he's playing on that perfect little bit of risk, right? He's assessing where can I blink in where I'm so close up to my allies, but I'm creating a major problem for side Liquid. And that's what happened to Zai. He just blinked on top of him in that fight, forced to throw out a roar. They couldn't coordinate any of their efforts, so it gives them the racks in the back.
It's also, they use the Aegis at the most annoying timing to push with an Aegis.
Yes.
There's about 50 seconds to a minute left on it.
Oh, yeah.
So you kill him and you're like, okay, well, we just wasted spells. We didn't gain anything from this. It's not like, you know, he had 4 minutes left. It's about to expire, but then if you don't deal with it, he just takes the racks for free.
Of course, that is what ended up happening this time around. It's going to set up for most likely another pivotal Roche fight for the next couple of minutes here when that does come back around. But a 10K gold lead. Aster was able to secure off that with a couple of buybacks spent to boot. Liquid, you got to be feeling a little bit afraid at this stage. But they do get the BKB completed on the Beastmaster now. Many BKBs online.
It feels like this next Roche for Liquid is the big one.
This Roche is really important just because of how kind of committal Liquid's lineup is in terms of they need a BKB versus every single hero on Aster. They need to use Shadow Fiend ult to get a kill. They need to use Roar to get a kill. So anytime they have 2 lives, they have buybacks, they're fighting, even if they're fighting in the Aster base, it's really scary just because of the amount of stuns that Aster has compared to Liquid.
And Liquid currently no gem, so no way to try and go for D-wards or anything, and there it's a pretty valuable vision still remaining outside of Aster, so they're spotting out like when Zai's rotating through those Ancients. Could give them the edge when it comes to prepping and setting for the next Roche fight. A Scythe as well there too, so all that pressure of the perfect fight for Liquid. Great item for breaking that up. You know, your combo breaker's the Aeon Disc, but at the same time, you're gonna have that Scythe just catch someone off guard in engagement.
They instantly smoke up. They're gonna try to catch them in their own jungle. Just Roche isn't alive. It can't even start spawning for the next minute, so you just want to kick them out.
This Blink Scythe is just, it's so
Careful,
terrifying.
Insania, it's the first one they find. The cookie away, that gives some vision, but they're barely able to catch. The Sinister Gaze is enough. So Moxie will go down. Liquid are gonna be thankful it's not more, but Aster keep this pressure on.
They know where they are. They saw the couriers moving through their ward right now, so they're running up here and catch that ward from Liquid as well.
Ward up on the high ground. Aster continue the bully. And an AC almost completed on XXS.
The hardest question right now for Liquid is what is their timings that makes them feel like it changes anything, and are they too far away? So Mickey's going for a sheep, which I think will change a lot. It lets him actually kill these heroes by himself and not have to worry about the stuns. And Matu is going for an MKB, but they're both about 3,000 gold away from their items. And
Yeah.
I don't think they'll have the time to wait for these items, so they have to decide whether are they giving up Roche and taking the items, or are they going to try to force a fight and just take a proper positioning fight, which is also another option because, again, Liquid can win a fight based on positioning.
Yeah, if they get that big jump.
If they get the jump, if they get the burst, the Terrorblade dies, maybe he doesn't have a buyback. He is buying out right now. He's actually buying a full Daedalus, so he won't have buy if they kill him at this Roche fight.
Well, it's a similar timing here as well for that Aegis, but halfway through, so see if they can find that positioning, and yep, Daedalus is there, delivered.
And you can see the Hawk scouting for the Roche respawn time. It is a minute away right now. As Aster going into the pit, they check it. That was spotted by Liquid. And it does look like they'll have at least a little bit more time now to get in towards those items. Not sure if it's going to be enough, as you said.
Also, something cool is Monet has a Blink Dagger. So I think his idea is even if you blink on the Shadow Fiend, if he doesn't get the Arcane Blink buff off, his ult is not as strong. He can't use it as fast, and you kind of force it so once Shadow Fiend can never get gone off if they want to win the fight. He can't get clipped by anything that cancels his blink. He can't get hit once by the Shadow Fiend or slowed or anything. He has to be able to be like completely free and get a jump when he wants to get the jump. So all these Blink Daggers on Aster now on both of the cores of the Lesh and the Terrorblade are going to kind of cancel that out.
It kind of, unfortunately, feels like a lot of their cores feel that way, you know? I mean, I guess Zai is the one who can maybe be in there a little bit with the help of some creeps.
Pretty much the only one. And of course, you see those Hawks flying over the top. They do scout out that Aster is sitting in the exact same spot where they were last game. They get into the MKB for the Ursa. A couple of other items getting picked up.
They're putting down floor rugs, hanging some nice decorations on the wall, some
They're
great
just
pictures of the
chilling.
family, you know? Really furnishing the environment. It's nice.
But
There's a, oh, interesting. The Timeless Relic is given to Insania, which is really nice for his slows, and then the Spell Prism for Mickey.
looking for a big wraparound here from Liquid as Aster on the other side of it. We'll have to see if they want to head on up and find a way in the pit, but the Terrorblade already seen that Roche is back up. Monet's just going to keep fighting. They're waiting for them to come to Aster.
They just need to catch the right hero on Aster. If they catch the Brewmaster, sad, he has Aeon Disc. If they catch the support and you have to use your ult on him, it's also kind of sad because now you can't use him on the cores. So you have to catch the Terrorblade or you have to catch the Lesh. Aster's just in such a nice position that Terrorblade illusions are breaking everything so they can't sneak Roche. They're playing under their wards, they're playing as 5, so you're going to constantly have to walk into the team. They're even pressuring the base with the illusions. There's just so many things that is kind of pulling Liquid apart just around the map.
He also just had his buyback as well on Monet as well, so that's a very small window, but could have been hazardous, is now gone too.
A minute and a half left on Ursa's, but doesn't have the gold to get there once it comes back up again.
It's actually impossible to jump in first. Like, look at how he's sitting. He's got heroes on both sides. He's ninja geared there.
He's
just smoked up, hanging out, making sure that the Hawks don't spawn anything. he's not the guy you're gonna get. They fully recognize it's the only way they lose this fight.
This is the most defensive play that I feel like I've seen from a team in forever. It's because they know.
And that's after last game.
Exactly, right?
The exact same thing.
They know that this is the only way it works, and there's creeps hidden in the tier 4 towers. Like, Liquid need to deal with this. They're literally going to lose their base if they don't make a move. And Liquid, they just can't. They're stuck in a chokehold. Matumbo Man heads back, and now they're all alone.
The second they see the TPs, they just walk in the road.
Aster, ready to go. Matumbo Man and the rest of them are going to need to get back out close and quick, but it's not going to come quickly enough.
I believe it's Shadow Fiend himself who says, outplayed. You know,
Unreal.
That's how this feels.
Such clean Dota being played by Aster.
Oh, he wants that Agnes Blessing. He's taking it.
And now smoke up from Aster. We'll see if they make the move.
I'm the Shadow Fiend now. I got the Terror Wave.
They find one. It's XXS. That's not who you want at the start. Ori moves on in. BKB already out. Matumbo Man runs away. The Terror Wave won't forward the frost shield. It's not quite enough from Matumbo Man. And now the hit, the turn. They chase him down. They kill him out. No buyback for 2 minutes. And just like that, Aster take a dominant control over this game. 20k gold lead now. With that Aghanims in tow and the lift up there. They found Mickey. Can he manage to escape the BKB? Runs on in, pulls him out. Nicely done.
He does have buyback on the Marcy.
And they're ready to go for the next round. Up to the high ground. Aster, they can feel it now.
Zai's in behind, but no Roar here. Just has to watch, see if they can find a plan. They can't just aim the fountain.
Open for something. Matumbo Man does have buyback at 400 gold, but it's not going to come soon enough. Aster, they're not going to give him the time. The 4-staff keeps Insania alive, but on to the tier 4 towers now. Aster, the last team in the upper bracket from China. Head on in, Mickey goes with the big ulti. Isn't going to be enough, though. XXS pops in immediately, turns to fight, looks for some more. Monet, he's actually not hitting the throw right now.
Here he comes.
But they move on in, and Monet, ready to battle, heads on towards the Ancient. They start beating away at it. Eyes on the prize. The chain cross back and forth between the two of them. And with that, wait, the fear, they move away. Another round of it, jump forward, but GG is called. Aster, they win the game. They win the series 2-0 over Liquid.
Really nice performance from Aster.